Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney, in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a special edition here of BT Unleashed. I am very, very happy to welcome in a New York City radio legend. He is equal parts nuts and awesome. He is absolutely out of his mind, which is why we all love him, because all those years when I was driving around or falling asleep after a Jets game or doing what I was whatever I was trying to do to break into the business or just driving around going to where I'm going, I had Joe on the overnights. I had Joe on the middays. And one of the great distinctive voices in New York City radio lore, that is the great Joe Benigno. Joe B, look at Joey boy. What's going on, Joe?
How you doing, bro? Good to see you. I'm glad to see you doing well. Glad to see that, man.
Well, I'm doing. I'm trying to do well. I'm doing.
I understand. No, we're all doing, bro. We're all doing. Believe me.
You are red like a raisin, man. Do you use sunscreen when you play golf? Where you been?
Absolutely not. I do not. I you know what, bro? I spend time when it's a nice day. I'm not playing golf. I spend time outside. I try to work on the tan as early as possible.
You know what? I'm a tan guy myself, so I definitely get that. Joe, we're going to bounce around, and when I have these kind, it's not an interview, it's a conversation, right? Mm-hmm. It gives a chance. Of course, I'm going to hit things that fans want to hear. The Stern stuff, the Cohen stuff, the Mets stuff, the Knicks stuff, the Jets stuff, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
But it's a chance to get to know you maybe a little differently. I've known you for a long time. As I said, I fell asleep to you forever. Most of the times, half drunk, coming back from those Jet games when you were just starting your career.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So, young Joe B, we know what teams you rooted for. We know you saw Namath win and the Knicks win twice. What was 15-year-old Joe like? 16-year-old Joe, early in high school? Were you playing ball? Were you consuming it the way you do now? Like young, early Joe, what was that young man like?
Well, I play my whole, when I was a kid, and I look back at it now and I wish I was playing golf. I played a lot of basketball.
Yep.
My father was very good basketball player in high school. Unfortunately, he got drafted into World War II. So he never got a chance to play. He got a few scholarships to go to college. He never got a chance.
Wow.
But, so he was really big into basketball. Bro, I'm telling you, we talk about the Knicks. I've been watching the Knicks since 1962. My father would take me when I was 9, 10 years old to the old Garden, the old Garden on 53rd and 8th, to the doubleheaders, bro.
Yes.
You would see Knicks Celtics. You would see Lakers Celtics in the first game. I would see Bill Russell playing against Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, and then in game 2, you'd see the Knicks play against whoever. Teams like the Syracuse Nationals,
yeah.
Royals. The Warriors when they were in Philadelphia. When Wilt was playing there. So I was always big into basketball, playing basketball. And I really wish I was playing golf all those years, to be very honest.
Yeah, we'll get into golf.
As I look back at that now,
Yeah. We will get into. I know Jerry introduced you. We'll get into that. So I'm curious. Yep. So I've heard some of the same doubleheader stories from my dad, and he would talk more about the college game, like where
that too.
Oscar Robertson might roll in. But when you tell me like the Lakers Celtics, that's a regular season game. They just they wouldn't do a home game.
Yeah, bro, they used to play. Bro, they would play. I'm telling you, they would do NBA. And I went to college doubleheaders at the Garden, too.
Yep.
I was at the classic ECAC Holiday Festival in 65 with, actually, I guess it was December of 64.
Was that Cassie?
Cassie and Bill Bradley.
Oh, Michigan, Princeton.
In that classic game where Bradley went for 42 and then fouled out and Michigan wound up winning. Michigan also beat him in the Final Four that year as well. But in 65, UCLA won the championship. But, bro, are you kidding? NBA doubleheaders at the Garden. Yeah,
that's amazing.
This is the NBA. The NBA was nothing close to what it is now. I know. Extravaganza it is now. You know what I mean?
I do. I agree with you. But Joe, when we say that, a lot of people think, it's the older generation shitting on the current generation. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, but why do you think that's the case? Why do you feel that way?
Why do I feel? What do you mean? I don't
just the way how it's so different. Like the NBA is so different now. Like why?
Because it wasn't. I always tell this to everybody. I'm 72 years old now. Okay, I'm a fading relic here. You know what I mean? But so I grew up to see the entire evolution of sports in this country. I saw the NFL go from, to being the mega skazillion dollar business it is now. Same thing with the NBA. The NBA was like, not that big. College basketball was a bigger deal, really, than the NBA. And I saw the evolution of the NBA into what it's turned into now. My first ever sports memory was the Bill Mazeroski home run.
61, right?
60.
I'm 60.
1960 World Series. And I'll never forget this. Back in 1960, 61, there was no Mets yet.
Nope.
So, I was into the Yankees. I was 7 years old, 8 years old. I was into the Yankees. And my father said, you know what? Whoever wins this World Series, I'm going to get you the hat of the team that wins the World Series. And this is 1960, and I'm 7 years old, and I fully expect the Yankees will win. And if you look at that World Series, they killed them. All the games they won, they blew the Pirates out. And the games the Pirates won were all like one-run games or whatever, including that classic Game 7. So I come home from school. I get off the bus. I come home, and my father's there, and he hands me his Pittsburgh Pirate hat. Okay? All right? It was kind of a makeshift pirate. It wasn't like you can get today, what they wear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? He goes, no, the Pirates won. And I'll never forget that. And I was very upset about that. And that was kind of the beginning of me becoming a sports fan, And then 61 was the first year where I was really into it. And the whole Mantle Maris with the home run thing, I was 8 years old and all of that. And it just kind of really took off from there. I mean, the first football game I ever saw was the 1960 NFL championship game between the Eagles and the Packers. The only playoff game that the Lombardi's Packers ever lost. The Eagles with Chuck Bednarik, Norm Van Brocklin was the quarterback. So I mean, this is I'm an old man, bro. I go way back. So I've seen sports become the mega business that it is now. It certainly wasn't then.
Why won't you? But Joe, why not a Dodger fan? Why not a Brooklyn Dodger fan at that, or Giants?
Because they weren't there anymore. They were gone.
No, but I'm saying, I know they left in the late 50s, but when you were growing up, I know that you said really the 60 World Series is the first one you remember. Who did your dad root for? Was he a Yankee guy?
My father was a big Joe DiMaggio. I loved DiMaggio.
Oh, okay.
With all the, the fact that, what he did for the Italians in this country and really kind of in a lot of ways putting them on the map. You're half Italian, so you understand.
Yeah, I do.
My father loved Joe D. So he was a Yankee fan. But my father, unfortunately, died in 1967. He was 44 years old. My father actually was a prisoner of war for the Germans in World War II. Yeah,
wow.
9 months. 9 months. Then he got liberated at the end of, I guess it was early 1945. And, that really affected him going forward. I mean, he was, I got a pretty good personality. He made me look like a wallflower, what he was. But
really?
Oh, yeah. But he was big into the sports. And, so he really was who really introduced me into becoming the sports fan that I became. And like I said, he really was a very big basketball fan and loved DiMaggio. But he got into gambling, my father, and that really kind of turned out to be his downfall. When
he like owing people money, like real heavy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Did you ever gamble?
A little bit. My latest. I'll give you I don't really gamble. I'm not a big gambler. I don't bet, I'm not there betting NFL games on Sundays. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I like to I like to gamble. I like to bet on the majors in golf.
That's fun. That's fun.
So let me tell you a little story. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Masters is here. This is unbelievable. So the Masters is here. So I'm looking, I like to look at a guy that's a long shot. I don't want to bet the favorite. I don't want to bet Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler.
I agree.
I want to bet the guys that I can get a good number on and maybe win some decent money on.
Yeah.
So here's Justin Rose, 30-1. Okay, 30-1.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Rose, man, this guy, he lost in the playoff last year to McIlroy. He lost earlier in the playoff to Sergio Garcia. He's been close a lot of times. You know what? I'm going to throw $100 on him at 30-1. So here we are, bro. Here we are. And we all know what happened. So Rory jumps out to this big lead at the Masters.
Massive.
Right after 2 rounds, he's got like a 6-7 shot lead. I think Rose was after the second round going into the weekend. I think Rose was 7 shots back, and I'm like, this ain't gonna happen. So here we are. We get to Sunday going into Amen Corner, and who's got a 2 freaking shot lead? Justin Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there. My wife's getting excited now. I'm like, just look, there's a long way to go. And of course, 11, 12, and 13, he basically collapses. Rory kind of rights the ship and winds up winning again. So,
Yeah.
that's my latest venture into gambling, bro.
So it's amazing. I didn't know that. And you and I have known each other for a long time.
Right,
I don't see you very much. I do want to play golf with you this summer.
Yeah,
Last
we
time I
gotta
played,
play, bro.
we will. Terry
We
was
gotta
there. I
play.
was just talking to Terry before.
I'm
She
a
looks-
little better than the last time I played with you, a little bit.
I know, and so is she. And she looks great. By the way, she is.
Oh yeah, she's a lot better.
She's beautiful. She's awesome.
Yeah.
But I have to go back to something you said about your dad as a POW, and then he died when he was in his mid 40s.
44,
44, which is going to obviously impact you. Like, I know you like to party. I remember, I think one of the first time I was playing with you, I think you were hammering back a J on the golf course. I don't know if you still do.
I like to call it the seventh hole, sponsored by Easy Wider, bro. Although today, now you just go into a store and buy it now. It's
I know.
Now than it used
See,
to
but
be.
Joe, when I try to do that, like, I lose all sensibility. I don't function like when you do it. You just kind of lock in and you play normal golf. You don't get affected by that at all.
You know what I do? Like, before I play, I usually do a little bit before I play. Maybe once we're playing, maybe I'll take a hit here and there. Not as much once I'm started to play.
Got it. Okay. So, but what I was getting about with your dad and all that stuff, you had, if that happens to any young boy, and you were young at that point, there's an avenue for you to go down the wrong street. Whether it's gambling, whether it's fighting, whether it's just not caring about school, whether it's drugs, heavy drugs. Did you? I don't know that you had any of those problems, but did you have any of those issues when you were young?
No.
Wow.
My father died. I was 13. But I really kind of just immersed myself into the sports, to be very honest. We were living with my grandparents. We moved in with my grandparents. And there was some, they were great, and I was well taken care of and all. But, there was some issues there. My grandfather, who, God bless his rest his soul, but he was a great guy. He got me into the political stuff and all, into the presidents, and I was always into the history and all. But he was not a sports guy. Boxing, but not anything else. Okay. And he would give me a hard time on Sundays. I mean, football Sunday, man, I got to watch my football. I got to see my football team,
Yeah.
And he would give me kind of a hard time about that.
Yeah.
So there was some things that, that were a little, I was always pushed. Oh, you got to be a doctor. You got to be a lawyer. You got to be this. You got to be that. So I had to put up with some of that garbage. But, I think so I was able to really, I think, because thank God for my father, even though he wasn't around, that kind of put me in where I needed to be mentally. I mean, it changed my life to the point that I kind of felt at 13 years old, okay, now you're on your own. Yeah. And, you got to be your own person. And I was always able to overcome the crap from my family in a lot of ways, even though, I was brought up, had a very good life coming up. But I had to put up with a lot of that.
Interesting.
And I think my father, because of what the groundwork he laid for me, I was able to do that.
Dr. Benigno, please report to sir.
Right. And then Joe walks in. Bro, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I can picture you doing a lot of, I can see you making money on Wall Street. I could see you being a political correspondent these days. I don't know if I can see you being a doctor, man.
No
Dr. Joe.
No shot, bro. And my sister, who, by the way, just passed away a month and a half ago.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. She was a doctor, and she was kind of my sister couldn't escape what the family was doing, which I was able to do, and I think a lot of it because she was younger than me. She was 7 years old. My father died. She really never really knew him. I think that was part of it. Yeah, she passed away. Unfortunately, she was sick for a long time. So God bless her. She was younger than me, and I always felt I feel bad because
of course you do. Sure.
She was younger than I am, and she was sick, and I'm fortunate to still be here.
She's your little sister. So the 1960 World Series, if the Yankees win, you get the hat. Pirates win, you get some sort of a makeshift hat. How the hell do you become a Mets fan? Like, why?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because 1962 comes along, and here's this new team. Okay, new team in New York. Yeah. Wow, you know what? I'm going to root for this team. And that was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made. But I'm going to root for this team, and that's what it was. It just was like a new team that I was 9 years old. I'm going to root for this team. I like this team. I'm going to root for them. There's something new, and I'm going to be involved with them. And look, we won 2 championships in 60 whatever years it is. But I've seen it all. One thing about being a Met fan, I've seen the entire history of the Mets. I've seen it all.
Yes.
From day one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I got a lot of things I could say. You know how I feel about Stearns and all. But
I don't know how you feel about Stearns, Joe.
You know?
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but I got to get an update. I mean, before we get to Stearns,
okay.
I got a pecking order here.
Okay.
I know Boy Genius, I know he's your target, and I'm going to let you. We're going to get that out.
You know, I don't particularly love the owner too, because the owner allowed him. You know, the owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen, did this. Steve Cohen sold us a bill of goods when he took over. We all couldn't, all us Met fans, we were all thrilled over, you know, Stevie Cohen, all this great money, and we're not going to, you know, Freddie Coupon and the Wilpons are gone and all it is. And he sold us a bill of goods, B. You know, he's talking about the Dodgers of the East. He's talking about winning a championship in 3 to 5 years. And now they're worse than they ever were.
But it's not like Joe, it's not like he's not trying, Joe.
But here's the thing, B. How do you allow what he let this clown Stearns, okay, I went to Harvard, I'm smarter than everybody, what he allowed this guy to do, ripping the heart and soul of our baseball team, okay, getting rid of Pete, getting rid of Nimmo, getting rid of McNeil, even Diaz. I know Diaz is hurt. He would have been hurt anyway.
Yep.
But just doing what he did and bringing in these guys who have done nothing. I mean, let's be honest, you know, but Polanco is hurt. What's his name? Robert is hurt.
Luis Robert.
Yeah, Devin Williams stinks. You knew it. We knew it. We all knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Bichette's not hitting yet.
No, not at all. Bichette's still not. And even Soto, bro. You think Soto could ever get a big? I know he hit 43 homers, 105 RBIs. He stole 30-something bases last year. He never gets a big hit, bro. He was up the other day in where the hell were they playing over the weekend? And they actually won 2 out of 3.
They won twice. Where are they?
They won twice. And my brain is going now because I'm getting nuts. And Anaheim against the Angels.
Yeah, Angels, yeah.
And he's up. The game they lost, he's up with the bases loaded, right? And 2 out. Can he get a damn big hit there? Of course he doesn't. He strikes out on a half swing, check swing. You know, come on. Even him. I'm very down on the owner. I'm very down on Stearns. He destroyed this team. And I think a lot of it, look, let's be honest. And I'm sure you've heard the rumblings. I know Francesa said this and other people have said it. There's political reasons why these guys are not there anymore.
I believe that, Joe. I do believe that. I do.
And I think, and as much as I like Francisco Lindor, who I really warmed up to, he's become a great Met. I know he's hurt now. Become a great Met and all this. But it seems like he was a big clubhouse lawyer. Yeah. And now, you know, you got his wife. She's working with the freaking mayor of New York.
I know.
All right. So, I don't want to get too into that area. But, you know, because I really can. But
I mean, you can. But listen, I got you. But
I don't want to. We want to keep it to the sports.
Yeah, no, for the most part.
So
but
I'm very down on Stearns. You know, very down on the owner. And I'll tell you right now, as much as I love my team, okay, and I love the fact that, you know, Carson Bench is starting to do something.
Yeah, it looks good.
Vientos suddenly is hot. You know, I have watched my franchise get rid of. This is the thing with the Mets. I watched them trade Tom Seaver. I watched Frank Cashin destroy the 86 championship team, you know, from Ray Knight to Lenny Dykstra to letting Darryl walk.
Mitchell.
You know, Mitchell. Watched, right?
Kevin Mitchell.
Yep. Kevin Mitchell. Right. We'll all put right. Trading Kevin Mitchell for that stiff Kevin McReynolds. Don't even get him. Oh, my God, can't stand the guy. McReynolds. I mean, please, go duck hunting. All right?
Yeah.
Please. Okay, I know he was a decent player for us, but I couldn't stand him.
I got you.
And even like trading David Cohn, you know, Daniel Murphy, let him walk away after he carries us to the freaking World Series. And now what they did with Pete and Nimmo, you know what I mean? I mean, I've watched this forever. And I'm going to tell you one thing, and it ticks me off as a Met fan to watch all these iconic Mets be let go by this franchise. And it really, really, and what happened last year is as bad as it ever was. But yeah, it makes me crazy. And one thing about the Wilpons, I'm going to say this. And we can all kill the Wilpons all we want.
Easy targets.
The Wilpons re-signed David Wright because they understood, even though it didn't work out because he got hurt, the stenosis and all, you know, the back problems.
Yeah.
They knew what David Wright meant to the franchise, okay? And they would have never signed Juan Soto. Never. Not in a million years.
I know.
I
agree.
But they would have brought Pete back because they would have realized what Pete means to the franchise. And I don't care that he's not hit. I know he had a decent weekend against the Yankees, hit a couple homers, big deal. You know, this guy he's the all-time home run leader. He's an iconic Met. You can't just let this guy walk away. Give me this crap. You can't give him a 5-year contract. That's bullshit, B. And I'm very ticked at the Mets. And I'm if they won 65 games this year, and you told me that Stearns is gone, I'm signing for it.
He would be gone if they win 65, and those would be gone as well. All right, but I got to get back to this. Now, I hear you, and it's your opinion, so I respect it. Let me just push back a little bit with the owner, because I do think that Stearns is different. You know, you look at Cohen, and there are some owners who talk a big game, and then they come in, and they don't do what they said. Now, he said they're going to win a World Series in 5 years. Not going to happen, but it's not like he's not trying.
Okay.
And he's spending money, right? I think it was time to rip up the core, but I wasn't sentimentally attached to Alonso and Nimmo and McNeil, because I'm not a Mets fan, but I respect the dynamic. I understand it because I'm a New York sports guy, so I can get what you're saying. But, you know, when he took over that team, the entrance to Citi Field, you would think you were going to watch Jackie Robinson play or Don Drysdale. Okay, so Jerry Kuzman's number retired. Doc and Darryl.
No, he's done that. He put he's
done, he's done, Joe. I just think he's done a lot that some Met fans who are really pissed off, and I get why you're pissed off, but are now almost glossing over like the Wilpons were a disaster, Joe.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying they're not. I didn't say that. I understand that. But I'm just ticked that this guy, he's supposed to be a big Met fan. How do you let this guy Stearns just – because it wasn't those guys' fault why we didn't win.
I know.
We choked last year because the pitching went completely to crap. Yeah. And a lot of it was the moves Stearns made at the deadline. He brought in all these crummy relief pitchers. They all stunk. He brought in Cedric Mullins. He stunk, you know, and they put the blame on Pete and Nimmo. Give me a break. You know, right now, Pete hit 38 homers. He drove in 126 runs last year. Nimmo hit 26 homers, drove in 90-plus runs. Where is that?
Yeah.
That's not there anymore, bro.
No, I mean, Joe, we're at the point. Judge and Rice have more home runs than the Mets.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
I get it. There's just a real absence of power. And now it's easy to say, and you're not wrong, that Stearns had an awful offseason. And that might cost.
I said this. Let me just say this, too.
Yeah,
and it's out there. I said this about David Stearns in day one.
I know you did. But I never, Joe, I know you did. But I never understood why. Because, and I want you to respond, but I just wanted to present you with this.
Yeah.
You are on the record, and a lot of people were like, oh, Joe's nuts, Joe's wrong. You've been proven right. So you can take a little victory lap there. I get that. You nailed that. But to me, David Stearns did a lot of good things in a small market, a team that caught the ball, an athletic team, a good pitching staff without the checkbook. So I'm sitting there saying, all right, if he could take those same characteristics and now add to it with Cohen's checkbook, I would think that he's got a chance to be dominant. But why didn't you like it right away? I understand now, but why not from day one?
Because I'm an old school guy and I'm sick and tired of the crap, okay, that it's all about OPS and it's all about exit velo, you know, and it's all about this, you know, it's all about WAR and it's all about this metric and that metric and it's all about spin rate. Give me a freaking break. You know, I grew up when, you know, batting average meant something. RBIs meant something. Wins meant something, okay? Because you had pitchers that actually would pitch freaking 9 innings and, you know, not 6 innings, and here comes the bullpen and let them freaking blow it, you know? And that's what Stearns was. Stearns is the typical modern, young general manager / president of the of baseball operations, okay? He's an Ivy Leaguer, as they all are. They all think they're smarter than anybody. They have about as much athletic ability as this table had, okay? Couldn't play baseball if they tried, and they come in, and now they want to reinvent the freaking wheel, bro. And that's my problem with Stearns, and that's why I can't, you know, give me Mania. Give me Sandy Alderson back. For all the killing we did of Sandy Alderson, give me him back. I don't want this new wave crap.
Yep. Okay, but Joe, what about all the teams in baseball that do have the new wave stuff that work? Like the Mets, he just pushed the wrong buttons. It's not so much a philosophy that's not good. He's just not making the right moves within the philosophy, Joe.
Yeah, but you say it works. Look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers have done what? They signed Ohtani. That was a tough move. They signed Freddie Freeman. Oh, that was a tough move. They traded for Mookie Betts because the stupid Red Sox got rid of him. How the hell do you do that? Okay. They signed a pitcher from Japan. I can't even name the
Yamamoto.
Oh, anybody could do that. Just throw the money.
Well, the Yankees and the Mets couldn't get him. The Yankees and the Mets tried. They couldn't get Yamamoto.
What does that have to do with the modern day, you know, metric crap?
Okay, fair enough.
Nothing to do with it.
Fair enough. So Listen, and I remember when you were still on the Fan, you're like, and Evan, loves the numbers, and I love the numbers. I'm not going to hit you with numbers because I know you don't love them, but and I think I have a good balance. I understand the numbers. I implement them here and there. I don't bombard people with them. I still use my eyes. So I do see both sides. I get it. But the numbers are one thing, right? But weren't you at a point? See, this is where I think, with all due respect, somebody like you or people who subscribe to what you believe, and there's many of them, that stats aside, there comes a point where the window shuts on a core. And I thought that the window shut on the Mets core, which is why I thought, and I guess I'm wrong, that Stearns did the right thing. You think that core would have won ever? I don't.
I don't know. I mean, I think I think all they needed to do was fix the pitching, bro. I think that's really all they needed to do. Straighten out the pitching. The pitching killed them last year. Senga went to hell, and he's shot now. Peterson went to hell. He's pitching good, Peterson, when he doesn't start, by the way.
Yep, out of the pen.
In the fourth inning, he's pitched a lot better.
Yep.
Peterson collapsed last year. He gave $34 million to Frankie Montas, bro. We all knew Frankie Montas stunk. Who didn't know that? He let Severino walk, and he's still a pretty decent pitcher. You let him get away. Give me a break. And then he brought in all these crummy relief pitchers, all these guys that every one of them stunk.
Lady gone. Blackburn gone.
I can't even remember the guy. The guy that pitched underhand, Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the guy that could never get anybody out? Who's the guy from the Cardinals they got? I don't even remember the guy's name.
Oh, he was awful. Tyler Rogers before that, and they have Lovelady. They had and then
this
Blackburn.
Guy, the guy from the Cardinals, who was
he was awful,
terrible.
He was bad.
I mean, that's why they didn't win. You could talk all you. Don't give me this crap. It was Pete's fault or it was Nimmo's fault. Give me a break. And again, bro, I am as a lifelong Met fan that cried when I saw Tom Seaver on the cover of Sports Illustrated in the Cincinnati Reds. All right. I was 24 years old, and I was freaking crying when this happened.
1977.
Yeah, and it's continued to happen with this franchise.
Yeah.
And every time they do this, they go into the tank for a number of years. After they got rid of Seaver, they weren't good again until 1984. It took them 7-8 years. Davey Johnson, Strawberry coming up, bringing Doc up and all. The trade for Hernandez until things turned around. Frank Casher destroyed the 86 championship team, right? How long did it take him? It took him till like 97, 98 when Bobby V came in. And then, they made the deal with Piazza. And then they got good again. And now we're looking at this again. I think we're going to be in the abyss again for a while, bro. I really do.
Joe, do you think that, and we hear this with Jet fans and to a lesser extent Knick fans and definitely Met fans, do you believe that, I don't know if the right word is cursed or whatever it might be, but do you believe that plays into certain teams just never being able to win?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Why, though?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that.
Why?
I think part of it's because I root for them. I mean, I think that you're laughing, but I mean, I think that a lot, bro. Seriously, I'm lucky because I've seen every one of my teams win champion. I've seen them all. I've seen all the championships. I saw the Super Bowl with the Jets. I saw the 2 Knicks championship teams.
Yep.
I saw the Mets win the 2. I've seen the Rangers win. I've seen them all win. Okay, but bro, here we got a basketball team now that has a legitimate chance.
Let's go. Yep.
It's a legitimate chance to win a championship, okay? This is the best starting 5 the Knicks have had since the championship teams. In all due respect to Patrick and Charles Oakley and Starks and Sprewell and Allen Houston and Larry Johnson and Anthony Mason, for all due respect to those guys, okay?
Yep.
That starting group was we never had the lineup that we have now with our starting 5.
I agree with you.
You got to go back to Clyde and Willis and
Busher
and these guys, the Busher and Bradley. You got to go back to that. Okay.
Yep.
Now that team did go to the finals twice. The Ewing teams went to the finals a couple times. This team hasn't done that yet.
No.
But I think this team has a legitimate chance to win a championship.
So do I. We're going to get to the.
We'll see.
We're going to get to the next year. But it's funny because I'm thinking about. I was just writing this down. So you got a chance to see the '69 Mets win, the '86 Mets win, the '69 Jets, and obviously the '94 Rangers. Right. Very quickly. Tell me where you were. Where were you watching the last out of the '69 Mets World Series? Where were you?
I was home from school. I stayed home from school specifically, okay, because because back then the World Series was all in the afternoon, which was great back then.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, you bring your little transistor radio, whatever. So I stayed home from school. Game 5, we were living with my grandparents in Paramus, New Jersey, and I was going to Southmore High School,
Mhm.
and I watched it there. I watched it by my grandmother's house.
What about this? What about the Super Bowl? Were you in the same spot?
January 12th, 1969. I was at my grandmother's house in Paramus. And that's where I was.
What about the 86 Mets? Now you're not at the Fan yet, but you're sales you're selling food, a salesperson.
Right.
Where were you for the final out for the 86 Mets?
Well, let me say this first. I went to 2 World Series games that year. I was in Boston. I was in Fenway for Game 3.
Oh, that's when the Mets came out and hit all the home runs right away, right? Dykstra.
Lenny Dykstra led off the game with a home run off Oil Can Boyd.
Yes.
Okay. And we went on to win that game. Right. And I was in Fenway for that game. As a matter of fact, I got the tickets from my former brother-in-law because I'm not, that was another lifetime.
Yeah.
But I was sitting like 2 rows like from the field. I mean, I had unbelievable seats.
Was that your first time ever at Fenway to see the Mets in the World Series?
I was at Fenway one other time. I was there for a regular season game again with my old in-laws. I think it was 1982.
Okay, so then what was the other world? You caught a
and
game
I was at the Buckner game. I was at the Buckner game.
You were at the Buckner game.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And where were you watching Game 7 when the Mets
Game 7,
won?
I was home. My mother was still alive. We were living with at that point. I was married to my first wife. We were living with my mother. And I'll never forget it. And remember that night. It's a classic night because the Giants are playing Monday Night Football. Game 7 got rained out on Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. That Sunday game got rained. By the way, that Sunday, I went from the Bill Buckner game to the Meadowlands to see the Jets and the New Orleans Saints. Okay. So I went right. Oh, yeah. They beat the Saints that day. The problem was Lance Mel tore his knee, never played again.
I love he was our number 56. The Giants had Taylor. I loved Lance Mel.
Tremendous player for us.
Very good player. Yep.
But anyway, so Game 7 gets rained out on that Sunday. So now I'm home. My mother's house, the house we had in Saddle River. And I'll never forget this. So we're coming to the last out. And I say I'm watching the game. I guess my ex-wife was there, whoever. My mother was there. And I said, I got to put the radio on. She goes, what are you doing? Why? I said, because I got to hear Bob Murphy call the last out of the World Series. Okay.
Nice.
She didn't understand that, but,
so that's why you divorced her.
Right.
That's why you got rid of her.
What's that?
That's why you guys got divorced. She didn't understand
that. I'll say this: sports was a big part of it.
Well, there you
That
go.
was a big part of it because she gave me a hard time, and then years later, she's calling me up for jet tickets. Years later, believe it or not.
Really?
Oh yeah, but whatever. So anyway, so I watched it there at home. The last out of the World Series.
Now the '94 Cup. You're working at the Fan. Were you at the game?
I was not at the game. I was not at the Fan yet. I didn't start
you
at
weren't?
the Fan in 95.
Oh, the next year.
I started in 95, bro.
That's right.
Yep.
The next. So when you used to call
Summer
Mike,
of 95 was my first year on the Fan.
We all know that you used to call Mike and Chris. How long would you wait on hold to get on with those guys back then? An hour?
I mean, I would wait. I'd come home from work. I was a salesman, and they'd get me riled up listening to them in the car.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and I'd argue a lot with those two guys. I really did.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the show I really loved calling was Russo's Saturday morning show.
That was a great show.
Man, all the big callers would be on. That was, to me, that still is maybe the best show that the Fan ever had.
Wow.
Russo's Saturday morning show.
Russo solo, the best show ever.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
What was,
you know why? Because everybody he got all the big callers would call. Okay. And he let us go,
Yeah, he did.
And he didn't have Mike there to kind of temper it. And I'm not look, there was never anything like Mike and the Mad Dog is the greatest sports talk show that will ever be.
I agree.
They were the pioneers. They were appointment listening. We all know that. But there was something about that Russo show on Saturday morning.
Listen, Mike and Chris together, the best. And it's funny, they drew me in very differently. Like, I have an energetic style. I've always had an energetic. So I loved Russo. Good afternoon. Like it's go time. It's everything's blasting 1,000 miles an hour. And listen, the greatness of Mike. Number one, he didn't know. Nobody knows everything, but it seemed like he knew everything. And back then, you couldn't just look it up on the computer.
He'll tell
you had to know it. Well, he would tell you that. But he did know a lot. But the other thing that Mike had more than Chris, and without Chris, it's not the same show. but Mike had connections. Mike knew what the Yankees were about to do. Mike knew what the Giants were about to do.
He did.
And he
Yep.
brought a level of blunt fact that was worth gold back then with no internet. I think that's probably Mike's best trait back then.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I never kind of looked at him that way, but he did. He did know a lot. He did have a lot of connections. I agree with all of that. But look, I mean, there was just something about those two guys. And like I said, when I was a salesman on the road, I'd always have them on in the afternoon. It was appointment listening. I mean, there's no doubt. If you were a big sports fan, you listened to Mike and Chris.
Oh, there's no doubt. So for those who don't know, you obviously know. So for 10 years, I was down the hall with Tiki doing the national stuff.
Yep.
You were, for some of that, you were still with Evan, right?
Yeah.
So I'd see you all the time and, bullshit about golf and just catch up and always talk, small talk, but always caught up. And I remember asking you a couple times, and I want to get into this just a little bit. I'm curious where you stand on this now. Because you would always say, you'd say it on the radio. I want to retire. I want to go to Florida. I want to play golf. And I'm sitting there saying, gee, I'll give my left arm to be on WFAN. This guy's been on there 20 years. He can't wait to leave. And I remember saying to you, Joe, aren't you going to miss this? Like, what happens if the Jets win a Super Bowl and you're not on the air, or the Mets win the World Series, or the Knicks? So bro, I'm not going to miss it. Do you miss it? I know you don't miss the commute. Do you miss the day-to-day relevance, the juice, all the stuff that you get on the fan? Do you miss that?
No, absolutely
not at all.
No, I do my Saturday show, my early morning 5 a.m. to 9 Saturday show.
Yep.
I do my podcast a couple days a week. I don't, bro. I really don't. And as far as that, I mean, I'm on with you. I'm on with a lot of different people as far as, if they need to hear from me or what I feel about my teams or whatever it is.
I know.
I do not miss it. I did it for all those years. It was great. It got to the point where I got to be honest, doing it every day just wasn't fun anymore.
Wasn't fun. Was that because of the commute or the monotony of doing this kind of the same show?
The commute was a big factor.
Yeah, I know you've said that.
Really, and I've said this forever.
Yep.
The real people would ask me forever. It's funny. I used to always, Evan and I would always laugh, because people would come in and, Evan and I wouldn't see Evan until the show started. I mean, you know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
And people would say, boy, you guys, you must spend a lot of time, for prep. And I would laugh. What prep? There's no prep. I said, I live this stuff. Dude, I don't know. You think I'm sitting here with notes and forget about it. I'm not doing that. And I was like, got a kick out of that, But the commute really, really got to me after a while.
I know it did.
I drove. I would leave my house for a 10 o'clock show. I would leave 5:30, 5:45 in the morning.
I know. So I would see you very early.
Right. So I didn't have to sit in traffic. I'd be BSing with Chernoff. We won't get into what we used to talk about, but I mean, we weren't talking sports most of the time. But anyway, I'd go in and hang out with him in the morning, whatever. So for the first number of years, I drove, and I remember I was doing TV, and then I started doing television on SNY.
We were doing it at the same time.
That's right.
I had the show after you guys. You guys were doing Daily News Live all the time.
Yep. And it just got to be too much. I mean, I was putting in 12-hour, 13-hour days for, basically, 3.5 hours of actual time, actual on the air time. And it really started to get to me. I stopped doing the TV. That helped a little bit. And then I forget when it exactly was. My car broke down. I drove in, and I would always, when I was doing TV, I would always drive into Midtown first. So I'd leave my car right by where the television was, which was in Midtown at that point.
Right by Radio City, for those who don't know.
Radio City. That's exactly right. 6th Avenue, 50, whatever it was, street.
54th, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
So I would drive there in the morning. I'd park my car in the lot, and then I'd take the train back downtown to do a radio show. And so when I was done at the end of the day, I'd leave, just get in my car and leave right from Midtown to go home. So one day, driving in, my car breaks down. I somehow managed to get it into the parking lot, right? And it took me 3 or 4. I can't tell you what I had to do to get it towed back into New Jersey. It was unbelievable. It was beyond a disaster. And the money and all of that, it was beyond. So I said to myself, that's it. I said, I'm not driving in anymore. And probably for the last, I don't know how many years, 6 or 7 years that I did it, I because there's a train right here in Mawa, I
Yep.
started taking the train. And it
Yeah.
was a little better, but you
Yeah.
still had issues with the train too. I mean, you know,
True.
you know, you're at their mercy a little bit. So that made it a little more palatable. But it wasn't because of the commute. I think that was a big part of it. It
Mhm.
wasn't becoming fun anymore. And when it wasn't fun anymore, I knew it was time to not.
It's time to go. No, I can respect that. Did you feel like you got the respect from Chernoff that you earned?
No,
Why not?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Why?
Like-
Why do I think that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of it is because I came up the way I did. You know, I came out of, you know, I basically came out of nowhere to do this. You know, I was basically a caller, and then I got an opportunity to do shows, and it just kind of went from there. And I think that's, you know, I didn't come up from the ranks, if you will, like a lot of these guys did. And I think that's part of it. That's part. Now, I like Chernoff. In fact, I'm a big music guy. I think you know that too.
Oh, and Led Zeppelin. You love Led Zeppelin. I know you love your music.
I love Frank Sinatra. You know, I love a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, but I you know, so a couple of weeks ago, about a month or so ago, Chernoff now does a radio show.
I know.
60s, 70s music on I guess it's in Fairleigh Dickinson, FDU.
Yes.
So he invited me in to do one day. So I saw him, and you know, I love Chernoff. But it's kind of a love-hate relationship with him in a lot of ways.
I get it.
You know?
I get it.
But I never got the respect. No, not at all.
But you got it from the audience, Joe.
Yes, I did. I agree. Yeah, yes. The callers have been my lifeblood going back to the overnight.
Yeah, I think, Joe, in a lot of ways, you're probably the most relatable person in the history of the fan. And think about this. Now, I know there's a different lineup now, right? Boomer played, and Boomer's great, but none of us can relate to being an NFL quarterback, okay?
No.
You know, Carton's an FAN monster and a legend, certainly in his own right. Now he's doing afternoon drive. Evan's been there forever. You know, Mike was almost thought to be like right or wrong, like the unapproachable voice of authority.
Okay.
You know, man, I feel like you were the common man. And when you were the common man. And when you're the common man, that's going to lead to a great relatability with the audience, but it's probably not going to get you the respect or the points come contract time and all the other stuff you probably had to deal with.
Yeah, I think that's all part of it. I do. But you know what? And B, you know this. I'm me. I mean, I am what I am. I mean, you know, there's no difference between Joe Benigno on the air and Joe Benigno. I mean, it's just I am what I am. So
yes, that's true.
You know that.
You know what I wanted to ask you, Joe? So,
yeah.
and I truly don't know the answer to this. And if the answer is no, then it's a massive miss on their part. So when I met you, I was at 1050, right? Obviously, startup station, a lot of good talent, Stephen A., Max, Mike and Mike, like myself, Kay, LaGreca. Some pretty good voices that came out of there, but a horrendous signal. You guys were the station of record in the country, a 20-year head start, all those things that made our life tough, right? If I was running 1050 back then, I would have been like, I'm going after Benigno. And you and I used to have the same agent for a long time, but I genuinely don't know the answer for this. Did 1050 ever approach you and try to get you over there?
Yes.
They did.
Yeah, and really what they did was, and a lot of it had to do with Lepselter as well, the great Mark Lepselter.
Yep.
They got it. They gave me the leverage to get out. What they did really was give me the leverage to get off of the overnight and into the midday.
Really? Tell me how that went. I don't know the story. How did that go down? Tell me.
Well, they offered me a contract.
For what show? What part of the middays? What part of the day? Do you remember?
I think it was. I think
Probably
I was definitely would have been doing daytime for sure.
Okay.
And they offered me a deal with, Lep did all the groundwork and basically went to Chernoff and said, look, he's leaving. If he doesn't get off you don't take him off the overnight. And that's how I wound up in the middays, and I started doing it with my good buddy Sid Rosenberg.
Yeah. Oh, you guys must have had an absolute blast. You were with Sid when Sid was all over the place, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
I love Sid. I'm on his show a lot now.
I like Sid too. No, I'm good with Sid's cool. He's nuts. He's good. I've known Sid a long time. I got only good things to say about Sid with my experience with Sid. But when you were working with Sid, I mean, you didn't know if he was showing up every day, right? Sid was at the lowest point, kind of, right?
In the beginning, he was fine. You know, Sid had his demons. There's no doubt about it. And I give him credit because it seems like he's conquered them all now. He's really doing a great job on ABC. I know. He really is.
He's killing it.
Like I said, I'm on with him a lot, which I appreciate him having me on. I mean, it actually happened twice. first he left. I forget. I don't want to get into what all the details were, but
I got
he
you.
told me Sid's in rehab, and I did it alone for, I don't know, a number of months.
I don't
Sid
even remember that. Okay.
Yeah. Sid comes back, and now we're together again. And I'll give you the story, and I'll never forget it. So it's opening day of the NFL season. I believe it was one of the years when the Jets did not make the playoffs under Herman Edwards. So I think it was, I think it must have been 03.
I was going to say 2003. Yep.
And it was 2003.
Okay.
And it's opening day, and I'm getting ready to watch the Jets. I think they were playing the Chiefs that day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Sid was supposed to be doing the giant pregame show, right? Up at the Meadowlands. Well, Sid doesn't show up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And come to, they would, and again, I don't want to get into it all.
Weren't they in Atlantic City?
They were in Atlantic City. They were down there, and I guess Lep was down there too.
Yep.
And I guess Sid kind of went off the rails in Atlantic City. He kind of went back to, the kind of crap he was doing and all, and Sid would tell you,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get a call from Lep. It's about 12:30. I'm getting ready for the Jet game, 1:00 Jet game, right? Opening day, September.
Oof.
I get a call from Lep. He goes, "It's over." I go, "What do you mean it's over?" He goes, "Sid's done." And he explained to me what happened. And from that point on, I did it alone. I probably did it alone for about a year and a half or so, until maybe even more than that, until Evan came into the picture. Finally,
that long? I mean, I was obviously busy doing my own
I did
thing.
it for at least a year alone.
Did you like doing it alone in the middle of the day compared to at night?
It was fine. I had no problem with it. I mean, I got to interview a lot of people. Man, I had 3 major interviews come into the radio station that I interviewed. Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe, passed away.
Joe Frazier.
Joe Montana. Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. And the best of all, and I don't forget, this is one of the great. Oh my God, this guy, and I love this guy. I got to tell you, this guy, even though he wasn't on my teams, okay, and he gave me a lot of heartache when he played for the Bulls. Dennis Rodman. And Rodman telling me the story. I don't know. Can I say this? The story?
I'm 100%. Yep.
The story off the air he told me.
Well,
and I love Rodman was such. Mitchell Robinson is kind of a poor man's Dennis Rodman.
A little bit.
The way he plays.
A little bit.
He's not Dennis Rodman. Nobody will ever be.
No.
But kind of a poor man. He plays defense. He offensive rebounding and all of that. Right. And he even gets into the opponent's head. We saw what happened. At the
Hawks.
Yeah, with the Hawks at the end of in Game 6 there in the last game of the Hawks series.
Yeah.
So all of that. And Rodman's telling this story, man, how he's doing an interview.
Yeah.
He's doing an interview and he's getting a little BJ as he's doing it. He's telling me this, and I'm freaking proud. This is off the air. He's saying it. I'm freaking rolling, man, listening to this guy. Oh, he was unbelievable. And a great player. I mean, a 5-time world champion, with the bad boy Pistons and then with the Bulls. And what a character.
And by the way, what you just told us is probably tame compared to what he's
probably
done. I mean, come on.
Now, how about I'm sure you saw the great thing in the documentary on the Bulls, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Last Dance.
Oh, of course. During COVID, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When Rodman tells Phil Jackson he needs a vacation.
Goes to
Vegas. He goes
Vegas.
away to Las Vegas with Carmen Electra for a few days.
I saw it.
Jordan says, "What are you talking about, Phil? What do you mean? Where is he?"
I know.
Jordan flies to Vegas, walks into the room. He's in bed with Carmen Electra and says, "Let's go." And
yes.
She's flipping out. She tells the story. She couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, Michael Jordan's in the room.
I know.
So that's the deal. But what a great player he was, though.
Oh, he was awesome. It's funny. Yep. So earlier in my career, I got a quick Rodman story for you, very quick. One of the most humbling moments in my life, right? So you hear all the stories about, Rodman's, yeah, what I'm saying, right? So I'm living in Vegas. I'm working in Vegas on the radio, like my second job, maybe 2000, 2001. And I'm at a casino with a bunch of guys for the station, a couple of guys I live in Henderson with. We rented a big house, whatever. We're just going completely nuts every night. And I'm playing blackjack. And all of a sudden, I hear this ruckus. Chairs are flying. It's kind of late, right? So some of the blackjack tables are shut down. Tables are flipping over. It's Dennis Rodman rolling through like a typhoon, rolling through what I forget which casino, maybe in the Hard Rock, right?
Right.
Just leaves a mess of disaster behind him. 5, and I mean beautiful women chasing him and running it. Dennis, no, please, Dennis, don't go, right? So I'm like, oh shit, there's Rodman. Then I get back to play the game. Long story short, later on, maybe like one or two in the morning, I'm in the bathroom. I'm at the urinal, right? And I'm going to the bathroom, right? And I remember when I used to wear those boas, those feather scarves, whatever the hell they were, like Jesse the Body Ventura used to wear back in the day.
Right. I know what you mean.
All right, so I'm at the urinal, and I see this like lavender, pinkish, turquoise, whatever, big feathery thing kind of come into my space, and I'm like, "What the hell's that?" And I look over, and I get a glimpse of Rodman's unit, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Scavange, as we like to call it.
I'm like, "This, you want to talk about feeling small? You want to talk about
I think that's legendary that we know that. So
it is. Oh, what I wanted to ask you too, Joe. So you go from Sid, and then you get the call, it's over. Lep tells you it's done. Then you go about a year and a half solo. Then you go to Evan. I mean, how different? And I know you have a great relationship with Evan. I've got a lot of respect for Evan's work ethic. He's really good. He's a good guy. Going from Sid to Evan's about as opposite as you can go. Like, Evan's pretty square. Well, he's not a partier. He wants to, check the notes and do, he's all in.
I'll say this, and we had a lot of good times over the years. The road trips that we did, and we had some great stories, which we won't get into them, but we had some great time. But Chernoff had always told me when I was doing the solo that eventually you're going to get a partner. And he had told me that. He says, I don't really like the one-man deal. You're eventually going to get a partner. And so I was prepared that was going to happen at some day. And I really didn't know Evan. I think he was doing the overnights or whatever. And, I didn't really know. I remember my producer at the time, the great Sugar Ray Martel, told me, he's a good guy. You're going to like him. He's a Met fan and he's a Jet fan, so you're going to get along with him in that way and all of that. And, so he came onto the scene and really, we just kind of went from there. I mean, there was really no tough transition period at all.
Yeah.
We just kind of went. And we did how many years together? So.
I would imagine he's pretty easy to work with. He's always prepared. He's low maintenance. He's a good guy. He's got a good heart. See, the funny thing that I always thought, and I always thought this was a credit to your show. When you have two guys in the same studio that live and die with the same teams as you do, even though he's a Nets guy, but the Jets and the Mets, right?
Right.
It's easy to not want to say shit on the Yankees, but kind of ignore them or ignore the Giants. I thought that you guys always did a good job of balancing. We all knew who you loved. We all knew who you wanted to win. And the Yankees were amazing when you guys were together a lot of the year. But I thought you guys always did a good job of that dance, that balance, where maybe a lesser pair would have kind of just been more Jet Met centric because that's what you want to talk about. But you knew, you got to play the hits. I thought you guys did a great job with that, Joe.
Well, I've always had great respect for the Yankees. I love Steinbrenner. I love George Steinbrenner, who, by the way, should be in the Hall of Fame. It's a
no
joke.
question.
That's an absolute disgrace that he's not. But and I always said I wish Steinbrenner owned the teams that I root for, all the teams I root for. So I love them. I got great respect for the Yankees. If you come down into this little museum that I have down here, you'll see a lot of Yankee stuff down. There's a lot of Yankees down here too. Yeah. I got a lot of different teams all over the place, bro.
I mean, but the Yankees, I don't know if the world's going to want to hear about Joe Benigno's man cave being laced with Yankee stuff, Joe.
No, I wouldn't say it's laced with it, but I got a lot of these mini statues of players. And I'm looking to my left now. I got Babe, Lou Gehrig, Joe D, Don Mattingly, A-Rod, who I love, who never got the respect.
Yeah, I love A-Rod too. Yeah.
A-Rod, Andy Pettit, Bernie Williams, Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Thurman, and Reggie.
I mean, that's a lot of Yankee stuff, Joe.
They're all down here, bro. All of them.
I got to be honest.
They got a lot of stuff there. Bro, I got guys here that you would never. I got a statue of Dan Marino down here, okay? And I went back and forth with. I got Reggie Miller here, okay?
Oh, what?
Yes.
You got Alonzo Mourning too?
No, I don't have Alonzo.
I mean, jeez, Joe. I mean,
I don't know. But bro, I'm telling you, this is because I got as much as I hate the Celtic. I hate the Celtic. Even though I thought the Celtics would be a better matchup for the Knicks.
Yeah, me too.
There's no way as I'm watching Game 7, I could have rooted for Boston.
You hate them as much as you hate anybody.
Right. I hate them as much as I hate anybody. Okay.
You hate them more than the Patriots?
Yeah, because it's such a deep sea. Because this goes back to 1962, 1963.
Yeah.
When all they did was win. Bro, I couldn't I rooted for all those Laker teams against them.
Yeah. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. Yeah.
Right. I would root for Wilt against him because remember the Knicks was sucked at that time. I would root for Wilt against him. So I got I got great respect though for Bill Russell, John Havlicek,
Yep.
and they're down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Interesting, Joe.
I don't have Michael Jordan though. Although
well, that's the one guy that you should have, Joe. I mean, that's the one guy that you get
nobody gave me look, and I got great respect for Michael Jordan now, okay, because I look at him total from a different lens than I did when he was a Bull and killing me in the playoffs.
Yep.
But there's nobody that killed me more, probably in all of my sports teams, than Michael Jordan. Nobody.
Yeah. Not even Marino, not even Jim Kelly.
Nobody.
No, I hear you. I get it. You know what? On the MJ, you could do this real quick here. I'm not going to keep you a whole lot longer, but I want to get a couple of more things out of you.
Yeah.
Give me your top three, because this is the GOAT stuff, and this has been the last 20 years. Give me your top three NBA players in order. 1, 2, 3.
All time in my life?
Yep.
I got to go with Bill Russell, number one, bro. And I say that because he won 11 championships.
Yep.
I mean, he was the guy.
Wow.
I got to say that. I mean, there was no winner like Bill Russell was the winner.
Except Yogi, close. But no, I got you. I got you. All right.
I would put Jordan next. I go Jordan next. And then it gets kind of tough. And it'd be easy for me to say LeBron. Okay, and there's no question the greatness of LeBron and all that.
Yeah, I'm not saying LeBron at that point.
But I got a lot of issues with LeBron that have nothing to do with basketball.
I know you do.
Okay?
I know you do.
So I don't want to get into all that aspect of it.
I know you do.
I'm gonna say Magic Johnson, bro.
What?
I'm gonna say Magic. I mean, Magic Johnson to me, he won 5 championships.
Wow.
My first exposure to him was actually in the 1978 when Michigan State wound up lost in the regional finals to Kentucky, who went on to win the NCAA championship.
Who was the great player on Kentucky in 78?
Well, they had Jack Givens. He had the 41 points in the championship game against Duke. Jack Givens, Rick Roby. No big name guys on that team.
Gotcha.
Right? Mike Phillips was a big player on that team, but that was the first time that I got exposed to Magic. And then I'll never forget, and this is so funny because it's weird how things change. So the classic 1979 NCAA title game between Indiana State and Michigan State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird and the undefeated, Indiana
Sycamores,
right, against Michigan State.
Yeah.
Bro, I rooted for Bird and Indiana State in that game. I mean, I was rooting hard for Larry Bird. Because I like Bird. In college,
it seemed like you loved Magic, and then you kind of flipped on him kind of quick. I just wanted to see why.
I completely flipped when Larry Bird becomes a freaking Boston Celtic. Okay? Larry Bird becomes, Red Auerbach, as he did so many times, hosed the league to wind up to get Larry Bird's rights before he even came out of college.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So Larry Bird goes to the Celtics. Magic winds up, and that was a hosing too, that the Lakers had the 3rd pick in the draft or whatever the hell it was. So all the times that they played against each other, I'm rooting for the Lakers against the Celtics, man.
Wow.
I hated this. Bro, I'm telling you, there is no professional sports team. And even though the Celtics aren't what they once were, we beat them last year. We beat them with Carmelo, back in 2013 and all of that.
Yeah, sure.
The greatest Knick win in my lifetime. By the way, I'll tell you, it's not even the 2 championships we won. The greatest Knick win was the 1973 Eastern Conference Finals when we beat the Celtics in Game 7 in Boston. The Sunday afternoon. I'll give you a little story with this too. Remember, the Knicks had taken a 3-1. I don't know if you were born yet or not, but the Knicks
I was born that year. Actually, you talking about 73? I was born that year.
Okay, so the Knicks take a 3-1 lead in that series, right?
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
They beat them in a classic double overtime game on Easter Sunday. Clyde goes crazy, scores 37 in that game, whatever. Game 5's in Boston. They lose on a last-second bank shot by, of all people, Paul Silas, who never made a basket in his life. Great player, but he was no scorer.
Former coach,
Right, they win Game 5, and these games are all on TV. I'm watching these games in Indiana. Game 6 was a Friday night. I'll never forget it. At the Garden. Dave Cowens goes crazy, right? And the Celtics win. Now it's Game 7 back in Boston Sunday afternoon. And there was this guy who I was in college with, Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana, for those who don't know. Okay?
How the hell did you find that school, by the way?
Story. We don't want to get into the whole thing.
Right.
But anyway, I couldn't. I had to get away. I had to get away from the family. Let's put it that way.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
So I went to college, Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana, right? And there was this obnoxious guy from Boston, okay? Obnoxious guy named Jeff Lewis, okay? And I think he became a doctor. He was the typical Boston a-hole. There's no other way to say it, okay? All right? And he, after the game 6, he's coming to we lived in the dorm, same dorm. He comes to my room. Your team's choking. You're going to blow it. He's going all delirious, okay? We're going to be, you never win in game 7 in Boston, da-da-da. So we made a bet. I don't know how much we bet. It was at least $100, which was, a lot of money. I didn't have $100 on me,
You better win the bet.
Hey, Mom, I need $100,
Yeah.
So, right.
And you just got to mail it to you. So you can't even put it in the account.
Right. That's right. It's not like you can do now. Right. So anyway, so game 7 comes, and the Knicks, they take over in the second quarter. They dominate. They win the game 94-78. And I'll never forget, Clyde's walking off the court like Namath did after the Super Bowl. He's waving the number 1. Oh, my, what a moment. And freaking Lewis, I'll never forget this, bro. Like maybe 15 minutes after the game's over, he runs into my room, says, "You fucking suck." And he throws the $100 down and runs away.
He paid up. Hey.
Oh, he did. Oh, no, he paid up.
Respect it, Joe.
Oh, yeah, no. I respect that. I know he paid up. But I mean, I was like, oh, man. Bro, you talk about beaming, okay? And obviously they went on to, the championship was almost like a, anticlimactic. They won in 5 against the Lakers. I mean, but beating that Celtic team, and here's something else about that people don't notice about that team. Tommy Heinsohn was the coach, and I hated Tom. Oh, God.
Great broadcaster, great announcer. He was great on the I loved him.
Yeah, if you're
an announcer,
you love him, of course.
Yep.
But I had him on. I interviewed him once, too, on the overnight, and I told him all that, too. It was good, though. He was good about it, right? So anyway, that Celtic team, people don't notice, they won 68 games that year, the Celtics. They were 68-14. No Celtic team has ever won more games than that team in a regular season.
I didn't realize that.
Okay?
Wow.
You can look it up.
Yeah,
Not even the 86 team. 86, they won 67 games that they went on and won the title. Yeah. That team won 68. The Knicks won 57 games that year. Okay, 57-25. Bro, I was delirious after that game.
And you have $100, and you have $100 burning a hole in your pocket to go spend in Indiana, where everything's probably 40% of the cost of New Jersey. So you must have had a wild.
Well,
weekend.
And we're also talking 1973. I probably bought it like a half an ounce with it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably did.
I tried to take some girl out, and I wasn't very successful doing that back then. But
yeah.
Be that as it may.
Wait, Joe, you weren't. Hold on, Joe. You weren't. You don't have to get too graphic here, but we want to show respect for sure. But you weren't a ladies' man growing up. I always thought that you had. I
was always a ladies' man, but it took me time. When you are a guy from the New York metropolitan area, which I was, and now you're going into the farmland of Franklin, Indiana.
You're the man.
It's not.
Oh no!
No. I was looked at. Now you want? How did they? Oh, you one of those guys? You a New Yorker? You from New York? I said no. I'm from New Jersey. Okay. But so it took me a little time. It took me a couple years to really get my footing the way it needed to be as far as the ladies go.
And then you became the stud that you eventually became.
Well, I would never call me that. I honestly, I probably did my I hate, but I'm only for you will I give this information. I probably my best work was done when I was married to my first wife, to be very honest.
I have heard some of these stories.
Okay. I'd be very honest, man. In the 80s, bro, I had a lot of fun in the 80s.
I'm sure. It's a personal question, but just because you bring up the 80s and you mentioned the weed and stuff, did you ever get into other stuff? Like the 80s was cocaine. Were you like, were you having a fun time with that or no?
I did coke a few times.
Yeah, but never like an issue.
No.
Good.
No. I would pick my spots with that. And I actually did acid 2 times. Okay? Listen to this. No, but this is full. I don't care.
This is why I have you on, Joe.
I did acid twice.
Wow.
The first time was with my first wife, because I had met her in college.
Yep.
We went to Chicago for a weekend because we were in Indiana. We drove up to Chicago.
Yeah.
And we did it. We were in a hotel room in Chicago, and we're doing this. And I would say for the first 3 or 4 hours, it was really good.
Okay.
After that, when I couldn't sleep,
yeah,
I'm like, And then I did it one other time with a bunch of. It was really now in the when I guess I was a senior in college, and I did it with a bunch of my buddies, and that was a lot better because I was surrounded by all kinds of people who also were doing it.
Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier. But that was it. After that, never touched anything like that again.
Wait, the first time though in Chicago, did you just stay in the room or did you like wander the streets of Chicago tripping on acid?
No, I was in the room and I was taking care of business, bro. That's what it was.
Joe, you're the freaking best. All right, this is a random one.
Yeah.
Because we all know that Joe loves golf, right?
Yep.
So to me, and obviously getting a birdie is a great feeling. Crushing a drive is phenomenal. Hitting a beautiful chip shot, banging a 30-foot putt in. Like there's so many different ways to experience joy and pain, but joy on a golf course. What type of shot? And I'll give you my example because I do this very infrequently. My favorite shot when I pull it off, which is rare, is if I hit like a mid-iron, like maybe a 5 or a 6 iron, and I really catch it. And if I catch it, I'm going to hit it about 195. And stick it on the green, and it just you don't feel it off the club face. It's got that beautiful height, maybe a little bend. What shot makes you feel the best on a golf course?
Well, I got 4 holes in 1, bro.
I know.
Yeah, all right. So I mean, and I'm not. And I tell this to everybody. Okay, I'm not good enough to have 4 holes in 1. Like I'm never going to go out and shoot even probably 85. That's never happening.
What's your best score? Joe?
I think the best I ever did. I think I shot an 89. I think that's the best.
So you've broken 91s. All right, keep going. Good for you. Good.
I think I've broken 90 actually a couple times, but I never did better than 89.
Okay?
Right? So I'm not going to go out there and shoot in the 70s. It's never happened.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm never going to do that.
Me neither.
But for one shot, you can do it. For one shot. And I've been fortunate enough to do it 4 times. And it is... it's mind-boggling to me that I even did it once. I mean, the first time I did it, actually, the first one I ever did was actually we played. In fact, I played there yesterday. Rivervale.
Oh, yes, you and I play. I like Rivervale's not easy.
No, great course.
A great course. Agreed.
Right. And the first one I ever got was, I think it was 2017. It's a long par 3. I actually did it with my driver. I did it with the driver.
Isn't that on the back 9? I know that long court. That's a tough hole, Joe.
Yeah, 14th hole. Yeah. I did it with the driver, right?
Yep.
And that was the first one. And I remember going up to the green, and I don't see the ball. I'm like, and there was like this guy who was like a worker. I don't know if he was Mexican, whatever he was. He wasn't
like a maintenance guy kind of thing?
Maintenance guy. He didn't speak English. And he's sitting up there like laughing. And I'm like, where the hell? Come on. You can't tell me I'm not on the green. And he's laughing. So I said, let me go look in the hole. And there it was. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Who were you with? Were you with Terry?
Yes. She was with me for all 4.
Okay, so give me quickly the other 3 courses.
The second one I got was at Old Tapan.
I played it.
9-hole course.
Yep.
Short par 3. You know what the funny story about that? It was the day, it was in 2021, and it was the day we got the second COVID shot. Okay. We got the COVID shot in the morning, and we played golf right after that. And I got a hole in 1. It's a short par 3, elevated green.
Oh, nice.
I did it with my approach, about 100-yard hole. I did it with my approach shot. And this one I knew was, when I hit it, I said, wow, this is right there. This might be in the hole.
Okay.
And it was. So I wasn't surprised when I saw it.
So that's number 2. What about number 3?
The third one, I was playing with a couple of my buddies, Kenny Scarabaggio.
I know Kenny. Kenny's great.
Yeah, Kenny, my buddy Joey from Clark.
I don't know
Terry
Joey.
was there. We're playing Rutgers. You ever played Rutgers?
No, but I've heard it's nice.
Great course.
I've heard. Okay? Yep.
Third hole at Rutgers, my 5 rescue club, about 145 yards. 5 rescue club. Hit it right at the pin. And as it's going, Joey is screaming. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. And he's running down to the freaking hole, right? Yeah. And I said, don't take the ball out. I'm taking it out. He's running down to the hole, screaming, hole in one. And that was the third one.
Okay.
And the last one, I want to tell you the last one. And this one was really something. Okay. I've only played it once. West Point. You ever play West Point?
No, but a few of my friends have. And I know it's tight, but I know it's beautiful. It's up in Hudson Valley. Yeah. A lot of my friends have played there quite a bit, but I've heard good things about it.
Right. So I'm playing just Terry and I. We're just us by ourselves.
Nice.
I'm playing West Point, right? I'm like, I'm playing West Point. Maybe there'll be a bunch of generals there. I'm going to wear my MAGA hat, okay, which I have a couple, okay? I have more than one. And by the way, if you came down here, you'll see that kind of stuff too. But
I'm sure.
All right. So I got one of my MAGA hats. It says, make America
great again. Yeah.
45-47 for Don on the side and all of that. Second hole, bro, elevated green. Okay. I was my 4 rescue club, maybe 150 something yards.
Okay.
I hit it, bro. This is last June. This happened last June. It's not even a year that this one happened.
Yeah, I heard you had one recent. Yeah.
Bro, I hit it right on the nose, bro. It'll be a year in June. Right on the nose. And I'm saying to my wife, wow, this might be in the hole. I mean, I couldn't see it going, but I knew it was right there.
Yeah.
And I go up there and there it was. So I got 4. And look, I look at the one thing, I'm not a great golfer. I don't pretend to be a great golfer. I hold my own. I'm great off the tee. By the way, I'm as good as anybody. Look, I don't hit the ball. I'm hitting it 175, 180 yards.
I've seen it.
In the middle all the time.
Straight.
Yesterday, I hit 8 out of 11 fairways. I mean,
that's a good start.
That's the strength of my game.
Well, then how the hell do you not break 90 a little more frequently, Joe?
Because my putting is terrible, bro.
Still,
my putting, I must have 3-putted at least. We played 13 holes yesterday. I'd say I 3-putted 8 of them. Yeah.
You know what's funny too? So you and I were playing,
and I still miss shots. Not much. But I still have that shot that I'll miss,
Yeah, of course. No,
that shot that I don't, I shouldn't be missing this shot, but I do. So that still happens.
So Joe, there's another course, and I think it's 18. It could be 9 where you wrap around twice. Name some of the other munis that you have played, and if you say it, I'll know it. And I played with you, and I've got a story from that day.
Okay.
Name a couple. Not Blue.
Did we play Paramus? Did we play Paramus together?
Not that one. I played there, but not with you.
Did we play Darlington?
Not that one.
Oh, I know. Valley Brook.
Yes.
With all the water. I remember that. Yes. Yep.
Water 18 or like
water everywhere.
Okay.
Like you're playing in Florida.
And I remember Joe invites me out. This is years ago. Like I'm still nationals. Joe's still working every day, whatever, on the fan. And we go out, and Terry was there. Yeah. And Willie, one of your other buddies was there.
Probably Willie to do it.
I think Willie, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know you a little bit, and I can't wait to play with you. And I'm like, all right, well, and I've heard stories, and I know you never wanted to play, and then Recco got you involved. I'm like, I got to see what this guy. This guy's going to be
play every day. By the way,
yeah, I know. I'm like, this guy's going to be an absolute circus out here in a good way. Let me see it. So you got the socks pulled up to your knees. You got the shirt tucked in, like you always dress well, tucked in nice and tight. The nice belt.
If you're not going to play well, you got to look good.
Trust me, well aware. And I look at you, and I don't know if you still do this, but instead of gripping the club really on the leather, like you're almost down on the shaft and basically touching metal. I'm like, okay, that's a very interesting way to grip the club. And then as you get up to hit your first shot, your legs are spread. I can't even describe how far they were spread, and you were bending down so much. And I'm saying, what the fuck sport is this guy playing here? Right, and then the first swing, dink, right down, not far, 170, 172.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
You hit the fairway almost every time. And I remember telling my buddies, because they all love you, I'm like, yo, I'm playing with Benigno. So they're like, oh, you got to give me the recap. Did you guys hang out? Did you have a little fun? I'm like, yeah, we had a good time on the course. And then I'm like, they're like, how is he? I'm like, there's got to be a documentary about this guy. Not only the way he stands, but the way he and his wife interact on the course, because she was having a rough time getting out of the sand and putting. And I remember I'm like, Joe, and I didn't really know her yet, so I didn't want to tell her. Right. That's like the one thing that I could do is putt. I'm like, Joe, tell her to do this. And you're like, bro, she's going to get mad at me. I'm going to let her figure out herself. And like, you just let her go around. Yeah. But she was banging the ball off the tee.
Oh, she's good. Let me tell you, she's really good. This year, this year, we played a lot already this year. She has made a dramatic improvement in her game.
Nice.
Dramatic. Her putting's a lot better. She's great off the tee.
Yeah.
Her biggest problem is her, because she'll hit a bad shot and she's ready to throw the clubs in the water.
Yeah, she gets mad.
She gets mad. And I tell her, I say, Tara, you're going to hit bad. There's no way around hitting bad shots. Mm-hmm. And when you hit a bad shot, get mad for a second and you got to forget about it.
That's right.
You got to go out there and hit the next one, and she's getting better with that.
No,
because
that's
she's
what
getting to be a
you
better
said
player.
that she's gotten better with that. What, Joe?
No
You
doubt.
can't say Augusta. Give me one course you'd love to play that you've never played. You can't say Augusta though.
I can't say Augusta.
Not Augusta.
I probably would have to go with Pebble Beach, bro. Probably.
God, that would take me 7 hours to get around that track. Jesus,
Probably
with the
Pebble.
wind and the water and the length
You
and
never
the
know
rough.
what kind of weather you're getting there, but I would probably go with Pebble.
Nothing in Scotland. Nothing. Nothing
Nah.
over. No.
Nah.
Yeah.
I would go Pebble once. Pebble one. Sawgrass. I'd love to take a shot on the 17th green there.
Yeah,
the
that would be
17th hole
cool.
with the island green.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to take a shot on that hole.
You ever play in Hawaii, Joe, or no?
Never.
Okay.
I don't think I'll never go to Hawaii. It's too long a flight. I couldn't do it anymore.
I went once, right? When we
Did you?
were, remember when I was in San Francisco doing afternoon driving for like 2 years?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Remember that? And we just got married, and we went out there with Jen's family. And this was like a couple of years later. I wound up having back surgery. My back was Kahlua. Yeah.
You had to change to like hitting lefty.
No, I had to change it in righty. I was a lefty.
That's right. You were right.
Hey, but you've seen me bomb a couple, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, you could hit, bro. You could play. I mean,
well, not anymore. I don't know what happened. I'm saying you used to see a couple of good ones. I don't know what the hell's going on.
My memory of you as a player is you were a good player. You could hit the ball a long way, and that's my memory of you.
I'm going to keep that memory, Joe. That's awesome. All right, a couple of quick hits, and then we're bouncing. Number one, Knicks win this series in how many games?
I said 7, so I'm going to stay with that.
7?
I still think that Philly. I think that Tyrese Maxey and Embiid will be heard from before the series is over. Now, look, with the way the Knicks are playing now, I mean, look, I'd love to see them just sweep this team away. Mm-hmm. I think they're winning the East, though, bro. I do not. Look, they'll win this series. I said 7 before the series. Maybe I'm amending that now, but I'm not. I'm going to. Okay. They beat the Hawks in 6, and they did. I'm going to stick with 7 here, but they'll win the series. Detroit, Cleveland's is a fraud. Detroit, they'll beat Detroit. They beat them last year. They'll beat them again.
Okay.
The Knicks are going. Barring some dramatic disaster that befalls them, this team is on their way to the finals.
Okay. Next quick hit. Try to do these quick. Does Mendoza finish out the year?
No.
I think I agree with you on that.
Nope.
Now,
I think the only reason, let me say this, and I like Mendoza.
I got you.
The only reason I think Mendoza is still got a job is because of the firings of Rob Thompson and Alex Cora.
And also, hold on, Joe. Also, and I think you're right about that, but also he's one level of protection from Stearns.
Right. That's right. He's the cover for the genius.
He's the human shield. All right. So you think he gets fired? Do you think when his contract is up, do you think Soto's going to opt out? Same to get out of here?
I think it's a chance he's gone before the opt out.
Jesus. Wow.
I think if they really become bad now and they're not a good team, Soto's going to want out.
Interesting. Okay. Who have you seen play baseball that's truly better than Aaron Judge? It's got to be a short list at this point, Joe.
He's one of the all-time greats. Let me just say this about Judge quick. He's one of the all-time great players, an all-time great Yankee. He needs to win a championship because all the iconic Yankees have multiple titles. And I think Judge needs to get that.
I disagree with you, but I disagree. This is more about you. I disagree only because you're a product of what's around you. Like Reggie had Munson and Guidry and Goose and Willie and Nettles.
No, they were great teams. Look, I mean, they played with Lou Gehrig and Tony Lazzari and these guys. DiMaggio played with great teams. Charlie Keller, Tommy Hendrick. He played with
Dickey
Gehrig.
Was a great Yankee back in the day.
With Gehrig for a couple of years. He played with Yogi. Mickey played on all those great teams. Jeter, obviously. I get that.
Yep.
I get that, but I think he needs that. I do think he needs it.
Okay.
Who is better than Judge?
Who's better that you've seen? You saw Willie Mays play. Do you think Willie's better?
I think Willie Mays is the greatest all-around player I ever saw.
My dad says that, and by extension, I tend to say that. So I respect that, obviously. Anybody else?
Well, to me, there was and Judge is close, and I realize Judge is doing it, legally, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds. I never saw nobody was as dominant a hitter as Barry Bonds when he was, in his years with the Giants.
Yep.
And I got to say this, bro. Okay. I'm the complete opposite. This crap with the steroids. It's time for these guys to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Barry Bonds, A-Rod,
Clemens,
Jeff McGuire, Roger Clemens. I hate Roger Clemens. I can't think of many people I can't stand more than him.
I
But
love
God
him.
knows he's a Hall of Fame. He's one of the great pitchers of all time.
Yep.
Maybe the greatest right-hand pitcher of all time.
He's not better than. Hold on. He's not better than Tom Seaver.
Yeah, maybe, but he's
I don't even know if he's better than Pedro. Pete Pedro.
He's up there, bro. He's up there.
I know he's up there. I don't think he's better than Seaver.
He's up there with Seaver. He's up there with Bob Gibson.
Yep.
He's up there with Pedro Martinez. He's up there with those guys.
Yep.
That level.
Greg Maddux, one of the best writers of all time.
Exactly right.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you like the ABS challenge system? You must hate this.
Love it.
You love it.
Oh, I love it. You know why I love
Nice.
it, bro? There's 3 innovations in baseball that I absolutely love. Number 1 is the pitch clock.
I love it.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
I love the Ghost Runner. Love it.
I like it too.
I love it. I don't
Me
need
too.
17-inning baseball games.
I don't
in
want
July.
it. Yeah.
Am I wrong, B?
No,
Come
you're
on.
right. I don't have time for that. I don't want to
Right?
sit
I don't
for
have
5
time
hours.
Come on. Give
Not
me a break.
interested. No, I'm with you.
Love the Ghost Runner. And I love the ABS. And you know what I love about it?
What?
Boom. It's boom.
It's quick. Yeah.
You're not looking at it for 5 minutes.
No.
Boom. That's what I love about it.
It's been very good.
Yeah.
And we have to finish up with our. By the way, I have a cold, so I keep sniffling. So I really
that's all
apologize.
right.
I
I
really
hope you're not
apologize.
smoking coke here now.
No, dude. I've actually, Joe. Joe, honestly, I'll tell you a quick story.
I'm
A
busting
quick
your
aside.
chops, bro,
I know you are. I've had some fun, right? I've never done that, and I never will. And you know the reason.
Mhm.
And I don't. Number one, my dad was on the narcotic scene, so I was always aware of drugs, right? But the day I was watching The Price is Right in my basement, and my buddy Pat and Timmy knock on the back door. We're going across the street to the park to play hoops, like we would pretty much do either in my yard or across the street all the time, right? And they break in. I don't think it was Sports Center because it was 86. So I wasn't watching Sports Center. I don't even think I had ESPN.
Is this about Doc? You talking about Doc?
No, that was 87 with Smithers. I'm talking about 86. And they break in from The Price is Right, and it's a special report about Len Bias.
Oh,
and I remember, now you didn't see, like Maryland wasn't on TV the way these teams are on TV now, but I saw him in magazines. I saw him play a little bit against Duke. And this guy looked like he was chiseled from granite. And he was just stacked and awesome, and the first overall pick. And when I found out what happened and that he died from a cocaine overdose, I was in the 7th grade, maybe. I'm never touching that. And basically, every one of my friends did it along the way. Well, that probably prevented me, from trying it.
Yeah, well, that's good that you did. Look, remember, you got to remember something too, though. You were just a kid in the 80s.
I know.
I was out looking to go, to the disco scene, bro. I got to tell you, man.
I get it. I get it.
I always tell everybody, and I would never do it anymore. Let me tell you, I would never do it. You get to a certain age, you can't do that shit no more.
No way.
You can smoke weed, that's fine. Yeah. But you get to a certain age, you can't be doing any of that other shit no more.
No way.
No. You get to be 60 years old, late 50s. You can't be screwing around with that crap no more.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
I always kid around. I always say that I wish we had payphones again, because back in the 80s, bro, now you can't get away with anything, right? Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's taking a picture. Back in the 80s, man, I could get lost. I could get lost. And you can't do that no more.
But what are the payphones? But wait, what do the payphones have to do with?
Well,
just because the phones.
Cell phones.
I got you.
I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't.
I thought you meant you were trying to connect with
my
your
ex-wife.
dealer.
My ex-wife would have no idea where I was, and that's my point.
Understood. Now you love your classic. I know you love all music, but did you actually go to the disco? Were you a You don't like disco music, do you?
I try. Well, I mean, yeah,
a little bit.
I do a lot. Yeah.
All right.
No, come on. I mean, I like a lot of it. Sure.
Little Donna Summer, little Bee Gees,
Saturday Night Fever stuff. And, different stuff that there's disco. Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I'm big into dancing. I don't know people know
I've
this.
seen you dance. You used to dance around the office, Joe.
I dance. I sing. You've seen me sing, I think, too.
Yes.
So, so I
have.
I'm not that I'm a great singer, but
you're pretty good.
Certain songs I can pull off. I can pull off certain things.
I know you could. One song, Joe, that you had, if you're in a car ride for an hour and you had to listen to it 7 times in a row.
Oh, man.
You going Zeppelin, you going the Temptations, you going the Four Seasons. Like, what's the song you would pick, Joe?
Boy, it's almost impossible.
I know it is. It's a
I'll
tough
give
question.
you the song, and you might, because I always think, because this song, even though it's been around for 60 years almost now, still every time I hear it, it's still phenomenal. And that's Light My Fire by the Doors.
So I love the song. I love the movie. I had the Doors
Love the Doors.
CD.
Morrison's one of the greats of all time.
Yeah, I know. Like Hendrix died early. I wasn't in, like, I had their main CD, and I love the movie. Like, the movie was really good, but I wasn't a massive Doors fan. But that's a good one, man. That's a surprise.
Especially the 7-minute version. You know, it's funny about that song.
Yeah.
Okay. When I got the single, great single, that's like 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I remember getting the first Doors album, right? The first Doors album was just the Doors.
Okay.
Right? And I get it, and Light My Fire's on it. And I see, I'm looking at the back. You know, I always would look at the covers of the vinyl.
Oh, I love the covers. They were great.
And they always would list the length of the song. And I see Light My Fire, 7 minutes and something seconds. I mean, what are you talking about?
We could do a lot in 7 minutes and 50 something seconds, show.
Right. So 7 something. So I remember hearing it for the first time on the album, and the instrumental part, which just kills it with Robbie Krieger on the guitar and Ray Manzarek on the organ. And oh my God. So I don't want to say it's the greatest song of all time. But
I got you.
It's up there.
What was the best concert you ever, like, best band you ever saw in concert?
This is funny because I saw a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
I saw the Grateful. I'm not a Deadhead by any
Me neither.
Me neither. I saw the Grateful Dead in 1974. I was going to school in Indiana, junior in college, at the old Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis, which is where the Pacers played before Market Square Arena.
Before Market Square. Okay. Before Market Square. Gotcha.
Before Market Square, the old fairground. It was like this big barn in Indianapolis. Right?
Okay.
And I saw the Dead, bro. Everybody was stoned. I mean, the smoke on the top of the building was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bro. And I was never the biggest, Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir.
Nah, me neither. I'm not a big Dead fan.
They were on. When I tell you, bro, they were hitting it. They were phenomenal. That's the best concert I ever saw.
That's a good call.
Never a big Grateful Dead guy.
Wow. You ever see the Eagles in concert?
Never the Eagles. No, nope.
I did. I love the Eagles. They were good. I saw Roger Waters, but it was the Wall.
Well, I saw Pink Floyd a couple times.
Did you ever see Pink Floyd at the Garden?
Yes, twice.
Wow, that must have been a good show.
I saw Pink. How about this? I'll give you this. Okay. Yeah. And I got a lot of issues with.
Well, I just got to wipe my. I gotta. You talk. I got to do. Go ahead.
Whatever you got to do. Get your tissue. Go ahead. You good now? You alive?
I'm good. No, I'm alive. My son's been. I've just been sniffles. I'm good. Thank God. But go ahead.
So it's July of 1972. I'm between my freshman and sophomore year in college, and I'm home for the summer, and I'm going with a bunch of my buddies to the Garden to see Chicago. Right?
Nice. Okay?
Love Chicago. Went to see the opening act. Right, this guy comes on that we never heard of. Okay, he's the opening act, and we basically booed a guy off the stage. Okay, no, I'm serious.
All right,
turns out to be Springsteen.
Wow.
And it was the only, and this is true, you can look it up. It was the only time he ever opened for anybody in his life. He did it the one time. I think he was so pissed off that he got booed off the stage.
Yeah.
He never did it again.
Wow. What was the venue, Joe?
The Garden.
It was the Garden. So I used to love Bruce, and I still like some of his songs. I
got a lot of issues with Bruce now.
Yeah, I figured
you know what I mean.
Of course, I know what you mean. But so in 72 was like Atlantic City hadn't come out then. That was more mid-70s. What was his big song in 72? I don't even know what
it wasn't. I mean, no. Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
I guess it was still like the first album, Rosalita, that stuff.
Okay.
July 4th, Asbury Park.
Asbury Park. Yep.
Pre-Born to Run stuff.
No, I know, but definitely before Born to Run, and
right.
No, I got you. And then, did you ever see? You never saw Jimi Hendrix, right?
Never. Nope.
Okay. All right. Last thing.
Well, Zeppelin a couple times.
Oh, Zeppelin must have been great.
Well, Stevie Wonder in Indianapolis. Oh, that was phenomenal.
That's a good one.
Chaka Khan opened.
I love Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan.
Let me rock Chaka Khan.
It was
I love Chaka Khan.
A good buddy of mine, the guy's name was Mark Cohen. He was from Connecticut. We called him Kink. He was a tremendous guy, right? Loved him, right? Market Square Arena, Indianapolis. Probably 20,000 people there for Chaka Khan and then Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
I think him and I were the only white people there.
I believe it. That must have been a
We were
great.
the only ones.
That must have been an
It was
awesome
unbelievable.
concert. That's a good one.
Tremendous concert.
Did you ever see
Yep.
the Commodores with Lionel Richie or no?
No, and didn't ever. Nope.
Okay. All right.
Didn't see Lionel Richie. No,
Yeah, I know you love your
Zeppelin,
music.
Pink Floyd, Chicago, The Dead. I'll give you a good story. I never saw the Stones, but I'll give you a story.
I saw the Stones. Yep, I did. I did.
Recently?
I saw them in 2002.
Okay.
I was working in Detroit. They opened Ford Field the first year the Lions played there.
Right.
And the first event there, it was the 40 Licks tour. And it was actually not a soft opening. The place was sold out. But before the Lions played a game, the Stones opened it up. So I saw them there. Yeah,
Wow.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So the Stones, so it's 1972. And it was this girl that I met. We used to go to this place called the Marshmallow. We used to go dancing every weekend in the summer. You know, we go try to meet girls. We dance. We do all of this. Me and my buddy. So I met this girl there. Well, she was okay, but I wasn't crazy about it. You know, back then I had standards, and it probably cost me a lot of stuff. So my standards were maybe a little too high for a 17, 18-year-old kid who still didn't know his ass from his elbow.
I got you.
Okay, so this girl, right? And I don't remember her name. This girl had tickets to see the Stones, right? At the Garden.
She's getting better by the minute, by the way. Keep going.
We're talking about the heyday of the Stones. Okay,
Yes.
like this is what do you call Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street, like all the great. Oh my God,
I get it.
But because of the fact that I really didn't like this girl that much. I felt bad. I said, I can't use this girl just to go to see the Stones. And I didn't go. And I look back at it now, and is one of the biggest regrets I ever had that I didn't do that.
Oh my God.
And be honest with you, B, this full disclosure, I probably should have had sex with her too.
Hey, honey, not only will I take your tickets, but I'll give you the pleasure of sleeping with me as well.
I think she was looking for that. So I mean,
that sounds like it, Joe.
Right?
Oh, talk about
wisdom,
but I didn't, man.
Because I'm a gentleman, because I didn't feel right.
Got a boy. No, listen, I got respect for that. I'll tell you one more thing about music, and then I've one literally last question. You've been very generous here, Joe.
Yeah, well,
we could do this all day.
You be anytime, bro.
Thank you, man. I
I'm
appreciate
giving you a lot
that.
here. I hope I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, what's going to happen? They're going to.
My wife knows all these stories.
She knows them. That's why this marriage is good, unlike the first one, right?
No, let me tell you something. Let me say this.
Yep.
My wife, okay, and she probably will get married. She's 71 years old.
Is she really?
She is gorgeous.
Yes.
I look at this woman.
I hear you.
And my wife's had no work on her face at all. None.
Good. Yep.
Zero. Okay.
Yep.
Because all these girls, they all this, and then
Oh.
they don't look real anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I look at her sometimes and I say, can my wife, is she maybe got glaucoma or something? You know, I'm looking at this beauty. Seriously, I mean it. I'm looking at this beauty, and she's looking at me, and I'm saying, does she really see what she's seeing here? So I'm very fortunate. I got a wonderful wife in every way, shape, and form, bro.
I know you do, and like I've met her, and I know her, and I haven't seen her in a while, obviously.
Right.
But
Right.
she was, because you need her to hook things up. So I was talking to Terry before Joe came on, and I told her, I said, you look absolutely beautiful. That's like really the first thing I said.
She's gorgeous, bro.
And
I don't
she's
just
cool
say
as she's cool as hell.
She's very cool.
She plays golf. She's
and can I say this? And let me say this. And I haven't seen your wife in years. You also have a very attractive wife.
But thank you. But she didn't have Stones tickets. She didn't need them. I saw her. I'm like, I don't care if she's got no tickets. That looks good to me.
Oh, my wife didn't have Stones tickets. She did take me when we were going out, though. She did take me to see Rod Stewart at the old Brendan Byrne Arena.
I never saw Rod Stewart. I never saw that. That would have probably been a pretty good one. And the last thing I was going to say about the music, and they're coming to MetLife this summer, and I have to see them. I have to see AC/DC. I know it's not going to be the same.
Right.
Like you missed them in the 70s or the early 80s.
Bon Scott is gone.
I got to see him, Joe.
Right.
I'm going. I'm going with a bunch of my boys. All right. So here's the thing.
You shook me all night long, bro.
Oh God, absolutely. Money Talks is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
So do we, and by extension do you feel good about the overall health and direction of our New York Jets, Joe?
Yes. Oh God, yes. I think I love Darren Muji. Look, I don't love Aaron Glenn as a coach. Okay. But I want it. Look, let's be honest, B. I want him to succeed. I'm tired of the every 2, 3, 4 years, we got a new coach here. Enough.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want to see him make it. What this guy Muji has done, and I got to give Glenn credit too. I mean, he obviously got input here. What the trade he made with Sauce Gardner to get the picks and to get the kid Mitchell, the trade of Quinn and Williams to get the picks from the Cowboys, and this draft. Now I know it's the draft, and they got to go and play yet, but I mean this draft. I mean,
he crushed it.
He hit it out of the park. He hit it out of the park. I mean, come on. Even the quarterback, even Klubnik. Let me say this about this too, and I think this with Klubnik. Okay, all right. They knew Muji knew all along this was the quarterback he wanted. Okay. He knew he wasn't getting Mendoza. We all knew that wasn't happening.
Yep.
He knew he wasn't looking at Carson Beck, even though I like Beck. He wasn't looking at the kid from Penn State. Okay?
Drew Aller or Nussmeier from LSU. Yep.
Well, I don't even think he got drafted. Nussmeier.
He did.
Right.
No.
Right. Okay. So he was zoned in on Klubnik, and he even traded up more in the 4th round to get him.
18 spots, Joe. That's a lot. He did love him. Keep going.
Right. My point with Klubnik and why I want to get to Bailey too. My point with Klubnik is this guy played 4 years at Clemson. Okay, good program, big program. Okay, won national championships with Watson and Lawrence.
Yeah,
okay?
not as good as they used to be, but I hear you.
But still,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
And his junior year, he threw like 36 touchdown passes, and they went to the playoff. Okay, they got killed.
And Joe, he only had 6 picks with the 36 touchdowns. By the way,
not as good as senior year.
Nope.
But that's fine. They knew they wanted this kid. And the fact that the kid played all 4 years at Clemson and didn't take the money to go somewhere else, that shows me something, B.
Yep. I agree.
I think, and I'm not saying he's going to be our quarterback of the future. I'm not saying that. But you bring a guy like this in the 4th round, Gino's going to be the quarterback. There's no question about it. If this guy is good enough to be the backup, I'd be happy with that. But who knows? You never know. There's no pressure on him, bro.
No, I know. I know. And the other thing, too, I really did a deep dive. I was surprised they drafted him, but I've pretty much loved everything Muji's done from day one. I'm not going to get now. It's got to work out. But because there's enough evidence that, whether it's within the margins or bigger stuff with Q and Sauce, this guy knows what he's doing. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. When you move up, it's not like you moved up 2 or 3 slots. He was so aggressive. So at the very least, I respect his conviction going to get his guy. And when he did it, I did a deeper dive on him as a quarterback. And even as a freshman, he won the MVP of the ACC championship game. So he's, the one thing that we know, whether it's Sanchez or even Zach Wilson, guys, the stats for guys or the success rate or hit rate, however you look at it, for quarterbacks who didn't play a lot in college, it's astronomically bad. So the more that you can watch film, the more that they can understand what's in front of them, process defenses, a little bit more maturity, leading a locker room, leading a huddle, different systems, different coaches, different players. Like you're at least incrementally inching toward possible success. It doesn't guarantee it, but I liked it. I was surprised. And by the way, before you get to Bailey, and then I'm going to let you go, because I got to get something going as well. Again, we could do this 9 hours. Jeez.
Yeah, well, we could.
The Jets offense, Joe, is suddenly as fast as anybody in football. Listen to this. Now, I know you don't love the numbers, but I'll keep it basic. So if you're running a 4.4, you are at 4.40. I know you know that. You're absolutely cooking, right?
Yep.
Between Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Breece Hall, Kenyon Sadiq, and I'm leaving one
Omar
out.
Cooper.
Cooper's 4.42. He's just outside that. And Mason Taylor's like 4.59 or 4, which is good for a tight end. They have 4 or 5 guys. I'm forgetting one, but it's at least 5 guys who are all sub 4.40. And the best thing about the Jets' ability to draft a team now and build a team, I know you got to find the quarterback eventually, but they didn't have to devote resources to the offensive line. The Jets' O-line is really good, and they're suddenly really fast. I'm excited for this season, Joe.
Yeah, me too. And I think Gino is going to be better than people realize.
Yeah, me too.
Gino had some big years in Seattle. You can't go by last year. The Raiders stunk, and they were basically tanking all year anyway.
Yep.
Okay, so they stunk. Gino's got a chip on his shoulder to prove something in New York. Let's be honest about it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And one thing we know about Gino, he could actually throw a pass, unlike Justin Fields. Okay?
Oh, God, yeah.
And I think Breece Hall, and let's not forget the addition of Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator. Okay, that's a big addition. I think with Breece Hall, they're playing for a contract now. They got him on the franchise tag. He's playing for a contract. and you're going to have a guy like Reich that's going to actually utilize him right and throw the ball to him out of the backfield, you're going to see Reese with a big year. No doubt about it. I'm very excited about the Jets.
I am so excited, and we'll get you back on and do a little bit more of a deeper dive, and I'll be happy to come on your show as well. Last thing, here's the magic wand. If I was able to hand this to you through the camera, and you could spin this puppy any way you want, and the magic wand would yield a Jets championship, a Mets championship, or a Knicks championship, which one would you want?
I would take the Jets first.
I would think that you would say that. Yep.
Football is number one, but I got to tell you, bro, I want a championship. Like I want to win. It's been 57 years for the Jets. It's been 53 years for the Knicks. It's been 40 years for the Mets. It's amazing. We all went crazy about the Rangers in '94. That's 32 years ago now.
I know.
I mean, I want to win. I want to go. I want to be at a parade, and our basketball team has a chance. And I want to say this about quickly about Bailey, and then I'll get to the Knicks. I know we're doing a lot of time.
You good?
Here's what I love about Bailey. People were screaming they should have took Reese. Bailey graduated Stanford in 3 years, bro.
Yes, he did. And his brother went to Harvard, Joe.
3 years, right? This kid is no dummy.
No.
And he took the money to go to Texas Tech to play 1 year, and he was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect him. People say, no. I expect this guy to be Myles Garrett at least.
Oof. That's a little lofty, Joe.
He's the second pick in the draft.
I
Come
know.
on,
I know.
LT, I'm not. Look, there's only one LT. LT was the second pick in the draft. No, I expect this guy to be a monster as a pass rusher.
The only difference, and I love the aggressive, the hope and the expectation. I'm with you on that to an extent, and I didn't want Reese, and I didn't really, not that I didn't want Bailey. I was actually hoping the Jets could trade out, get some more capital, and get a similar player. Either way, they didn't, and you have to have somebody to trade with, so I get it. The only difference with Myles Garrett, and like everybody knew Myles Garrett, like consensus first overall, there's no doubt this guy's going to be a beast. Half the league is saying, Bailey, Reese, like, not that they're always right. I just feel like, and I'm a pretty optimistic guy myself, I feel like that's almost too optimistic. Like, to expect him to be Myles Garrett, Joe.
Why not? And let's be honest. This is the guy that was taken all along. They would never, people made a big deal. Oh, he didn't come to Florham Park or
the
whatever.
30 visits.
Right. They made a big deal. No, he didn't have to, because Muji was taking him probably from the combine on.
Yep.
This is the guy I'm taking.
Okay.
And I like that. I like that too. But just getting back to the Knicks, and then I'll let we'll go. Okay. I want to chant, bro. I hear these people say, get to the finals. Bullshit. Win. I don't want to hear this finals crap. The Oklahoma City Thunder, okay? They're not the 1986 Celtics. They're not the Magic Johnson Lakers, okay, with Kareem and Worthy and these guys, okay? They're not the Bill Russell Celtics of the 60s that won, 8 in a row and 11 out of 13
They're not the Warriors from a couple of years ago.
They're not the 1996 Bulls that won 72 games. They're not the 72 Lakers that won 33 games in a row, still the all-time record in major sports for a winning streak. No. You can beat them. Go beat them. I want a championship. I don't want to hear the finals. Oh, well, it's just – no, bullshit, okay? It's been 53 goddamn years. This is the best team that we have had since the championship teams. Go win the effing championship, bro.
Let's go, Joe. That's outstanding, man. Yes. Well said. I mean, I don't need to add anything. That's the note that I want to end up on there, brother. Joe, this was awesome. And you're right. I do agree with you what you said. Don't just get there. Win. Like, let's win.
It's time to win.
Awesome job.
It's time for me and BT to be standing at the Canyon of Heroes after the Knicks won a championship in a parade that'll be off the freaking charts.
Oh, there's nobody like unified. Nobody unifies us like our Knicks. That is that parade would be unlike anything we've ever seen. Wow.
Yep.
Joe, this has been a real pleasure, a real treat. Really generous with your time. I love that we went into so many different directions, man. And listen, I know that you know this, but I want to say it. I feel compelled to say it again. Like, when I introduce you, when I say New York City radio royalty and New York City sporting royalty, I really mean it. And I know that you got the podcast. I know you do the Saturday show. That was an era, and there's still a lot of good shows now, and FAN's doing really well. but you are loved. You are universally beloved. Maybe some people don't love you as much as they used to because of the politics, but you got to do what you got. You got to do what you got to do.
You know what? Let me just say this, and I'll end it with this, bro. I'm a patriot. I love my country.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's the bottom line. And God forbid if the wrong people take over this country where we're going. I'll leave it at that.
Or if the wrong people take over the rest of the world, what's going to happen?
Well,
I mean, I know.
Well, that's exactly.
I know.
And right now there's only one thing standing in the way of that. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
I got you, Joe. So maybe a few people left the Joe Benigno.
Yeah, right, maybe, but that's fine.
I got you.
You know what? Look, I am what I am. I don't pull any punches. If you don't like that, I can't.
Tough shit, right? That's where you're at this point. Tough shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. I think too many people try to appease others. So, I love you, Joe. It was great to have you on the show. Give Terry a squeeze.
I will.
It's early enough in May. We got a whole ramp, and I don't have the hours that I once had when I was at the Fan. We're getting out. We're playing some golf, man. I got to get a couple. I only played once so far. I got to get a couple rounds, smooth things out a little bit. We will play.
Wait. Get in touch. Let me know. Let me know when you're available. Okay?
I got you, buddy. Thanks, pal. There he is, Joe B. Oh, man. He is a treasure.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host,